Steph here with Beautifully Changed, and today I want to review Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle for you. Now, I loved this book, and in it, Glennon shares her story of working through an eating disorder, addiction, sexual desire difficulties, and devastation, and then rebuilding her marital relationship as her husband cheated on her. She goes through a lot in this book, you guys. It's pretty intense, but it's beautifully written. Oh my gosh, the way Glennon writes. It's like, when you've spent the day maybe skiing or playing in the snow, and then you bundle up in front of a fire with a warm cup of hot chocolate, and you're with your friends and you're just talking and connecting. That's what her book reminds me of. It's very vulnerable, but beautifully written. It's so lovely. And pieces of her story really, really resonated with me. I was able to get lost in her story while also relating to it. If not from my own journey, the journey of those around me, such as friends, family, and people I've worked with, such as clients. I have some family members that have struggled with their own addictions, and hearing Glennon's story helped me to see my family member's story through a different lens, and it provided space for more compassion for them and the situation. And I'm a huge fan of anything that brings more compassion to my life. And this book definitely did that. One of my family members was going through rehab and didn't quite make it through the program. And hearing Glennon tell her story reminded me that it isn't always that easy, that internal demons can run really deep, and oftentimes people need something bigger than themselves to help pull them up or through, to wake them up, to accept the invitation to life and live and sit through the pain and the pleasure that life brings instead of escaping it. And she shares about how she couldn't even do it herself when family was pleading for her to get help. Instead, she was led by a different path. She calls it the invitation to become a mom, and she said yes, and that changed everything for her. So then Glennon, the book's kind of broken down, right? She goes through these different phases in her life, and then she ends up talking about her response to sexual interactions. And it reminds me of so many stories that I've heard, and tears just poured out. I know so many people can relate to what she shares. And this is a part for even myself could relate to, because I have experienced sexual assault and I was molested when I was little, and all these things happened to myself. And so reading this story was like, holy cow. She literally wrote as if she was in my mind or my body. It was pretty profound. And as I was reading this and thinking about how it related to me, I also just literally started remembering all these other people, men and women, who have shared similar stories that also resonated with them. And I don't know, I thought it was pretty powerful. And then she talks about the need to reconnect with her body. And she does this through yoga, breathing, taking time for herself, talking about what she is feeling in the moment whenever a touch is happening instead of waiting it out. And you can do that as well. So can I. It's pretty amazing how healing that can be when we connect our mind, body, and soul and allow them to work together. And it was really awesome to watch her story unfold and feel the healing she gave herself through doing the work and staying present through the pain and any pleasure that showed up. And I love what she said to her daughters about being sexy and beautiful and what that really means. And I loved it so much, I wanted to share that part with you in this review, because I think it'll give you a good idea of how she writes throughout the book. So they ask their mom about sexy and if sexy is appropriate or inappropriate. And she says, I think sexy is a grown-up word to describe a person who's confident that she is already who she was made to be. A sexy woman knows herself and she likes the way she looks, thinks, and feels. She doesn't try to change to match anybody else. She's a good friend to herself, kind and patient, and she knows how to use her words to tell people she trusts about what's going on inside of her, her fears and anger, love, dreams, mistakes, and needs. When she's angry, she expresses her anger in healthy ways. When she's joyful, she does the same thing. She doesn't hide her true self because she's not ashamed. She knows she's just human, exactly how God made her, and that's good enough. She's brave enough to be honest and kind enough to accept others when they're honest. When two people are sexy enough to be brave and kind with each other, that's love. Sexy is more about how you feel than how you look. Real sexy is letting your true self come out of hiding and find love in safe places. That kind of sexy is good, really good, because we all want and need love more than anything else. And I agree with that so much. So when I read that, again, I was like, yes, yes. I'm so glad she has the platform to say that and have it fall on so many eyes and ears. And that is going to provide such an amazing path for more love and more kindness, which we all know I'm so much about that. And then she talks about fake sexy is different. It's just more hiding. Real sexy is taking off your costumes and being yourself. So I want to read to you about what she says about pretty. Because her daughter says, "Oh, I thought sexy meant pretty." And she goes, "Nope. Pretty is another thing that can be sold. What and who is pretty is also something those people in boardrooms decide. It's always changing. So if you want to be pretty, you'll have to keep changing yourself constantly. And eventually, you won't know who you are. What I want to be, girls, is beautiful. Beautiful means full of beauty. Beautiful is not about how you look on the outside. Beautiful is about what you're made of. Beautiful people spend time discovering what their ideas of beauty on this earth is. They know themselves well enough to know what they love, and they love themselves enough to fill up with a little bit of their particular kind of beauty each day. You too will meet plenty of people who are pretty, but haven't yet learned how to be beautiful. They will have the right look for the times, but they will not glow. Beautiful women glow. When you are with a beautiful woman, you might not notice her hair or skin or body or clothes because you'll be distracted by the way she makes you feel. She'll be so full of beauty that you will feel some of it overflow onto you. You'll feel warm and safe and curious around her. Her eyes will twinkle a little and she'll look at you really closely because beautiful women, wise women, know that the quickest way to fill up with beauty is to soak in another human being. Other people are beauty, beauty, beauty. The most beautiful women take their time with other people. They are filling up. Women who are concerned with being pretty think about what they look like. But women who are concerned with being beautiful think about what they are looking at. They are taking it all in. They are taking in the whole beautiful world and making all that beauty theirs to give away to others. And I love that because that is a great way of explaining a little bit about what I mean by beautifully changed. When I selected the name Beautifully Changed to represent myself and what I want to do and contribute to the world. So if that little passage spoke to you, then I would encourage you to go get this book. If you're someone who struggled with an eating disorder, an addiction, your partner cheated on you, or you're just feeling not sure of yourself, I would definitely recommend this book to read. And if it's not for you, gift it to somebody because it is really delightful. I didn't want to put the book down, even though I needed a box of Kleenex next to me throughout the book. The way she writes is so lovely, and it really invites in your emotion and encourages you to also sit on the mat and be present with any pain that shows up and not run from your pain, but face your pain and work through it. Which I, again, am a huge fan of. Like, I feel like Glennon Doyle is definitely a soul sister of mine. And again, I'm so glad that she is able to have such a big platform to share these words with people and uplift others and just love, because she does it so beautifully. And I loved this book. and I think you might as well. So definitely give it a read. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to like and subscribe and have a delightful day. And if you have a book that you would like me to read or think I should read, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.